At Westfield High, nothing ever seemed to change much. It was a small town school where everyone knew each other, but somehow there were still people who felt invisible. One of those people was Mr. Ray, the janitor. Mr. Ray was an older man with gray hair and soft eyes that always looked tired. Every day he wore the same blue uniform. It was a little faded and had a few stains, but he wore it neatly. He didn't talk much, and he kept to himself. When he smiled, it was quiet and kind, but most students hardly noticed. He had been working at the school for years, longer than some of the teachers had been there. But still nobody really knew much about him. The students just saw him as part of the background, someone who swept floors and cleaned bathrooms. They called him names behind his back. The popular kids, led by the class clown, jokingly called him Mop Man and laughed whenever he passed by. Teachers were polite to Mr. Ray, but even they thought of him as just the janitor. They didn't include him in their conversations, and they didn't seem to care about his feelings. To them he was part of the school's furniture, always there, but never really important. No one really stopped to think about who Mr. Ray was or what he might be going through. He was invisible to most, just a quiet man doing his job. One afternoon, a few students in the hallway started laughing as they watched a video on their phones. It was a clip of Mr. Ray, quietly mopping the cafeteria floor, but someone had added mean captions and silly music, making fun of him. The video showed his slow, careful work and his tired face. The students called it Mop Man's funny dance. The video spread quickly through the school. Some kids thought it was hilarious and shared it with their friends. Others felt uneasy, but didn't say anything. Mr. Ray didn't know who made the video, but he saw it every time he walked past students whispering or giggling. He kept his head down and didn't say a word. The principal called a school assembly to talk about respect and kindness, but the message felt weak and half-hearted. No one was punished. The popular kids smiled, thinking it was no big deal. Mr. Ray continued his work quietly, but his eyes looked more tired than before. The laughter didn't stop, it just moved behind his back. Though Mr. Ray never responded, the invisible pain grew inside him. He felt like no one truly saw him, not as a person, but only as a joke. Still, he kept coming to work every day, cleaning and fixing things, hoping someday things would change. Graduation was coming soon, and the whole school was buzzing with excitement. Students talked about their plans, picked out dresses and suits, and practiced speeches. But Mr. Ray stayed busy behind the scenes. He was the one setting up chairs, cleaning the gym, and hanging decorations. Nobody really noticed how hard he worked to make the day perfect. One morning, a girl named Lily saw Mr. Ray wiping down the windows near the entrance. She brought him a cup of coffee and smiled. "Here, you look like you need this." Mr. Ray's tired eyes lit up for a moment as he quietly thanked her. It was the first time in a long while someone had shown him kindness. During the rehearsal, Mr. Ray stayed near the stage, quietly fixing a broken spotlight. Some students whispered, watching him take out a small notebook and write something. Rumors spread fast. Why is the janitor writing a speech? Can he even read or talk in front of people? The gossip made Mr. Ray even more invisible, but he didn't mind. He was focused on something important, something nobody yet understood. Lily wanted to know more, but Mr. Ray only smiled and shook his head when she asked. The students laughed and teased, but nobody knew what was coming. Behind the scenes, Mr. Ray was preparing for a moment that would change everything. Graduation day finally arrived. The gym was filled with proud families, smiling teachers, and excited students dressed in caps and gowns. The air buzzed with happiness and nervous energy, but no one was quite sure what to expect when the principal stepped up to the microphone. "Before we begin," he said, "we want to honor someone very special to our school." The room grew quiet. The principal called out, "Please welcome Mr. Ray to the stage." A few students laughed quietly, whispering, "What, the janitor?" But most were confused. Mr. Ray walked up slowly, wearing a neat suit instead of his usual blue uniform. Everyone noticed how different he looked, calm, confident, and dignified. He took the microphone and began to speak. His voice was steady but full of feeling. "I've worked here a long time, mostly behind the scenes," he said. "Many of you know me as the janitor, mop man. You've laughed at me, ignored me, and treated me like I didn't matter." He paused, looking around the room. "But I wasn't always a janitor. I used to be a teacher. I loved helping kids learn, just like you. But life changed when my wife got very sick. I had to leave my job to care for my daughter." Mr. Ray's eyes grew soft. "For years I struggled to keep everything together. I took this job so I could stay close to education, to stay near the students I care about." He cleared his throat and smiled gently. "You might think I'm invisible, or that I don't have a story, but every person deserves respect and kindness, because you never know what someone is fighting behind the scenes." Then he shared a short poem he had written about hope and strength. When he finished, the room was completely silent. No one moved. The students who had mocked him looked down, ashamed. The auditorium was filled with a powerful stillness. Mr. Ray stepped down, and the principal announced a new scholarship in his name, to help students who face tough challenges. For a long moment, no one said a word. The silence in the gym felt heavy, like everyone was holding their breath. Then slowly, some students wiped tears from their eyes. A few teachers looked deeply moved, their faces softening with respect. The class clown, the same one who had called Mr. Ray Mop Man, sat frozen, staring at the floor. His usual jokes were gone, replaced by something like shame. He couldn't meet anyone's eyes. Lily, the girl who had brought Mr. Ray coffee, smiled through tears and stood up first. She began to clap, her applause spreading quickly. One by one, the whole crowd rose to their feet. The gym filled with the sound of loud, warm applause. Ray stood quietly, a humble smile on his face. He didn't say much after the speech, but everyone understood, he had earned their respect. After the ceremony, students came forward to shake his hand or say thank you. Some even asked him to join their photos. The walls that had kept him invisible for so long were starting to come down. The principal announced that the new scholarship would help students who struggled with hard times, just like Mr. Ray had. It was a way to honor his courage and kindness. That day, Mr. Ray wasn't just the janitor anymore. He was someone who had touched the hearts of an entire school. After graduation, life at Westfield High began to change in small but meaningful ways. Mr. Ray returned to his work, but now students greeted him with smiles and nods. Teachers asked him for advice, and some even stopped to chat for a moment. Mr. Ray started a weekly writing club. At first, only a few students came, but soon it grew. Students who had once ignored or teased him now looked forward to his stories and lessons. Lily was one of the first to sign up, and she often helped spread the word. The scholarship in Mr. Ray's name went to a student who had once laughed at him, but later apologized. That student worked hard and promised to help others, facing hard times. Mr. Ray never bragged or talked much about the speech. He believed actions spoke louder than words, but everyone knew he had changed their school forever. Sometimes the quietest person in the room has the loudest story to tell. And sometimes respect and kindness come when you least expect them. Mr. Ray's story was no longer hidden in the shadows. It became a light for others to follow, a reminder that every person deserves to be seen and valued.